From a young age, Katherine showed extraordinary talent in mathematics. Her parents nurtured her gifts by sending her to one of the top black schools in the country. At just 9 years old, she was already attending classes with high school students. No equation on the blackboard could stump her. Even her teachers were amazed. But her life was far from smooth. After a failed marriage, she was left to raise 3 children on her own. Thanks to her brilliance, Katherine landed a job at NASA, though it was in a cramped, damp basement. There, she was surrounded by other black women with similar backgrounds and brilliance. In 1961, the success of the Soviet rocket launch put tremendous pressure on the US. NASA urgently needed to accelerate its rocket development. They ordered new electronic computers, but before they arrived, they needed a skilled mathematician. Yet, in the entire white-dominated building, no one could handle the complex analytical geometry, so they turned to the West Computing Group for help. Their supervisor recommended Katherine because she always handled data with precision and insight. And so, Katherine was temporarily reassigned to the East Division. Her new supervisor informed her that black women were required to wear skirts past the knee, and jewelry must be limited to a single strand of pearls. Her primary duty, write research reports.
Your clearance. We've never had a colored in here before, Katherine. Don't embarrass me.
The rules overwhelmed Katherine, but she took a deep breath and walked into the office with courage. The moment she stepped in, her white colleagues mistook her for a janitor. She had no choice but to go report to the secretary's desk. Seeing she was black, the secretary's attitude instantly turned arrogant, speaking to her with a condescending tone. But the director, having read Katherine's resume, didn't underestimate her. In addition to her assigned tasks, he asked her to verify calculations done by others. However, the white team leader was unhappy with this. He would purposely redact critical data before handing over documents for her to check.
My numbers are spot on.
I will double check them, sir. No problem.
At one point, Katherine needed to use the restroom.
Excuse me. May I ask where the ladies' room is?
Sorry, I have no idea where your bathroom is.
Helpless, Katherine grabbed her papers and ran out of the building to the West Campus restroom, nearly 2 miles away, even running at top speed. It took her about 30 minutes. In the restroom, she didn't dare waste time. By the time she returned, she had lost an hour of work time, and the documents on her desk had piled up. By nightfall, she finally finished everything, but when she handed the files to the director, he tossed them straight into the trash. It wasn't because her work was wrong. The data was simply outdated by the time it was completed. What the director really wanted was for everyone to see beyond the numbers, to think critically, and find solutions before problems occurred. Otherwise, they'd never leave Earth. When Katherine returned home, it was already late, but she still couldn't rest. As a single mother, she had to shoulder everything alone. The intense workload kept Katherine under constant pressure, so coffee became her only relief. But when she picked up the coffee pot, everyone stared at her. They couldn't accept sharing it with a black woman. Realizing her mistake, Katherine awkwardly returned to her seat. No one said anything, but their eyes said it all. The next day, she saw a new coffee pot placed beside the old one, labeled colored only, and she was the only black person in the office. But by now, she was used to it. She picked up the new pot, only to find it empty. Every day, her co-workers gave her only redacted documents to work with. It made her job nearly impossible.
I cannot work on what I cannot see, Mr. Staff. It's illegible.
Those numbers have already been confirmed by 2 engineers in this department and myself. This is more or less a dummy check.
But Katherine didn't complain. She held the paper to the light and uncovered the missing data. Armed with the full picture, she solved another major equation. In just a few hours, her white colleagues were stunned. They couldn't believe a black woman had cracked a puzzle none of them could figure out. Eventually, the director came to value her greatly. But just when everyone was overwhelmed with work, he noticed that Katherine was disappearing again. At that moment, she was running in the pouring rain to the West Campus. In the restroom, she tried to dry herself off, but there were no paper towels, no soap in the dispenser. She was soaked and exhausted. When she returned, the director finally lost his patience. He angrily demanded to know why she kept disappearing. Hearing she went to the restroom, he was furious. Something that should have taken 5 minutes took her over an hour. He accused her of slacking off at work.
I have to walk to Timbuktu just to relieve myself. And I can't use one of the handy bikes. Picture that, Mr. Harrison. My uniform, skirt below my knees, my heels, and a simple string of pearls. Well, I don't own pearls. Lord knows you don't pay colors enough to afford pearls. And I work like a dog, day and night, living off of coffee from a pot none of you want to touch. So, excuse me if I have to go to the restroom a few times a day.
Catherine's response left him speechless. Ashamed, he walked over to the coffee station and tore off the colored-only sign in front of the entire office. Then he marched to the West Campus and personally removed the colored restroom sign as well. When you're strong enough, even the rules bend for you. If you can't change the prejudice surrounding skin color, then use your strength to break through it. If you want to see what happens next, follow me.